Hey, this is Frontosa Cichlids and more. This video is about Frontosa breeding. I'm going to cover many different topics. The main topic is, in this video, is it size or age that determines whether your Frontosas are going to breed? So is it size or is it age? So we'll be looking at that. I'm going to be also talking about my pH, and this is a Frontosa aquarium. This is my largest Frontosa aquarium. Different things that people have been bringing up about Frontosa breeding, as far as whether to go for natural release or stripping. And we're going to be looking at also what can happen during the first set of breedings with the Frontosa. So I'll be going over all these topics while you see the fish and enjoy the wonderful blues. Right now they're just waking up. It's morning time here in Tennessee. They're waking up. And also, if you want to know what this is, give me a comment in the video, and I'll be talking about this in the video. I mean, not in the video, but in the comments. So if you want to know what this right here on my shirt is, talk about it in the comments. And stay tuned for this amazing video on Frontosa breeding. Some topics that are sometimes covered, sometimes not. So let's look at them all in this one video. So the first topic of this video is its size, as far as how big the Frontosa is, whether it's mature to breed or is it age. I've seen many posts on the internet and also on Facebook where people will say, hey, it is, you know, after the Frontosas reach a certain size, they're ready to breed. And then there's also some people who say, hey, it has to do with age. And then there's different estimates, sorry about the glare, estimates about how old the Frontosa needs to be before they actually breed. So let me give you my experience. I've had Frontosas for around 9 years now. Let me give you my experience. I've had a lot of Frontosas breed. So let me tell you. The earliest I've had a male breed was 2 years old. He was not full size. He's very small. It was a male. I think the males probably mature faster, but it can vary. The size of the male was the fish that's in front of the big alpha male here. He was about that big when he was breeding. So it wasn't necessarily a big male that was breeding. It was a small male. So is there a certain amount of time that your Frontosas need to be, you know, how old they need to be before they'll breed? Well, let me tell you something that most people haven't discussed, and that is the maturity of the female and the male can vary. Let me get the glare off here real quick. Alright, we got most of the glare taken care of. So, you know, as far as humans, you know, the age of maturity is about the same as far as when they can reproduce. But for the fish, and this has to do with all the fish that I've had, some males develop quicker than others. I've had a male that would breed at 3 months, and as far as a peacock. And then some of them were for sure a male, but was not mature and had actually been over 2+ years. So some of your Frontosas could be breeding earlier, and then sometimes it could take some Frontosas longer to breed, and it has nothing to do with what you're doing or your care or anything. It's just, you know, I would think it was just genetics. So don't overly stress about is your Frontosas breeding at a certain age, because some of them mature quicker, and that has to do with the females and the males. There's a little battle action going here. I want to put that on video while I'm talking. So, in my experience, it is not size, but it is age, as far as getting your Frontosas to breed. is I've had very small Frontosas breed, and I've had very large Frontosas breed. Now there's another topic I want to talk about, and that is recently several people have been asking me about, hey, my Frontosas are breeding for the first time, what should I do? Well, do not panic if they happen to be holding the eggs for a few days and they disappear, because one, either the first few eggs that are released are not mature, they're not ready to be fertilized, or the male is not able to fertilize the eggs. Because I've had several breedings and several pairs where when they start to breed, the first few attempts are not successful. And you still should be getting excited, because when they're starting to breed, eventually they're going to be successful, and you'll be happy, and you'll be able to have many Frontosas. So just realize, even though you may see them doing the circle dance, it looks like things are going well, either the eggs are not fully developed or the male's not really ready, but within a few more attempts, it could be the next attempt, they should be successful. So don't let that think that you're doing anything wrong, that the water's parameters wrong, or your feeding's wrong. Everything's right. It's just they're not fully developed, and they're attempting to breed, and eventually they'll get it right. May have nothing to do with the actual procedure of it. Could be that the eggs, like I say, are not developed, or the male is not fully developed at that time. But it's jump starting things, and they will eventually be successful, and you'll have plenty of baby Frontosas. Now that brings us to the next topic. People talk about stripping or natural release. And this aquarium here, and I'll make a pan here, this is a 125. Like I say, they're just waking up. It looks like there's plenty of room here for baby Frontosas to hide and so forth. But I'll tell you what, in this particular aquarium, I had a very amazing batch, and you never know if that will be your last batch or one of 100. In this particular case, it was one batch that it was my last batch from the pair, because they passed. So why am I disappointed? Is, well, they had them, but they were released in this aquarium with many other Frontosas. I've seen in other people's aquariums that most of the baby Frontosas survived. In this case, they were all eaten. Now, if you just have a pair of Frontosas, normally they will not eat all of your babies. They may eat a few, may not eat any. So if you have a pair, you can have an actual release with both the male and female in there. But if you have a colony, I would recommend, one, either letting them have an actual release in their own separate aquarium, just have the female in their own separate aquarium, or stripping of the fry or eggs from the female. That way you might definitely get some Frontosas from your breeding. Now let me take a small moment to talk about the pH in this aquarium. So I'm going to be testing for it, and I'll be telling you what it is going at right now, and how I'm going to get it going higher in the future. Alright, before I tell you the pH of this aquarium, I want to tell you, just in case you're curious, what you should feed your baby Frontosas. A lot of people put, flake food, different things, and it can get a little bit, the water quality can be a little bit of a problem. My best results for feeding baby Frontosas is to use frozen live foods. You can still use the raw deveined shrimp. You might not want to use a whole shrimp, depends on how many baby Frontosas you have. You can use the mysis shrimp. That's really good for them. They like that. And then when they are fully developed, where they're swimming around, they can eat the mice and shrimp no problem. That'd be a great food to add to your Frontosas. So I would think that to get your baby Frontosas jump started, if you're really wanting to go good and take off and all survive, is to use frozen food. So on my past video, I did a test on the pH, and I'm kind of having a focus on the pH for all my Frontosas videos. This one's still a little low. Now if you look, I have some pH buffer here on the bottom here, some substrate buffer, but my pH is still kind of low. It's around 7.4. So what I'll be doing is mixing up some citron, lake salts to raise the pH, and also, since I recently gotten it, I didn't have time to rinse the buffering substrate yet. I'll be adding some more substrate buffering to this, and also using the lake salts to get this aquarium slowly raised up on the pH. So I'll be putting like a gallon of water where it's dissolved in there, and slowly get this one up, and then with the substrate buffering, it will be maintained. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can see my Frontosas are enjoying the aquarium and doing good. I'll give a slide shot here as I promised as we exit out of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed something of this video, and hopefully you got some comments to add to it, because a lot of you have Frontosas and have your own experience with the breeding, and that would be good to put that in the comments so other people can read. So we'll end this with a side shot as I say goodbye. Alright, just remember to comment on what was on my shirt. Ask me what it was. Now we got a good view of the alpha male here. Thanks again for watching Frontosa Cichlids and more. Until next time, thanks for watching.